What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be a little bit of a sad sight. We are going to be moving the V6 after it's been sitting in one spot for about a year at my garage, and yeah, it's bad. It needs moved. It hasn't been started in a year. It needs a battery put in it, so we're going to go check out the V6 today. We're going to take Reaper out. I know you guys have probably been craving Reaper. It's been a little bit since you've seen her. I need to get a new bumper, as you can tell. It's all messed up. It's just the paint, the whole clear coat is about all gone, but she's starting to show her age. But hopefully next year we can actually get this whole car either repainted or wrapped, but we gotta do some body work first, which won't be a big deal. You're kind of cute. I miss driving this thing. It's been almost like 2 weeks. The weeds actually got cut down around it, but the weeds are all up around it. You can actually see where it's growing out of the taillight. Yeah, this poor car has just been straight up abandoned. After the exhaust fell off in the back here, it's being held by this, but the hanger broke off and the battery dying, and you know, I just didn't have time to mess with it. But I have ideas for the car now, and I can't really say them yet, but oh yeah, there's definitely some kind of critter in here. You're probably wondering what happened to Vinny's hood. I swapped it over to here, so had a place to sit. Hopefully that's enough to start it. Let's see. Like I said, guys, it's been a year since this thing's been started. Oh my god. That exhaust leak is pretty toxic. Whew. All right, let's clean this up and we'll move the car. Yeah, she needs a little love, but I do think I'm going to fix this thing up to the best that I can, since I did body work on her car. It kind of gave me motivation to do this one. The roof still caved in a little bit in some spots. I don't know how to fix a wavy roof, so if anybody knows how to fix a wavy roof, or if it's even worth trying to fix, I mean, I think you could probably take the headliner out and do like a roller type deal, but I'm not sure. I don't know that much. A fender, this fender is done. I got a fender over there, the Mustang, the old non-matching fender from Mako. The door, probably gonna replace. All that needs pulled out. That needs reglazed and knocked out. The craziest thing is, this interior, the dash at least, is damn near mint. Alright, so we are about to leave the garage. So the V6 is finally inside and not out in the weather. It's definitely gotten some wear and tear from being out in the sun for that long without any attention. The spoiler used to be solid black, but but she'll get some love. It's gotta get the funds and the time, but it's gonna be a whole new car one day. Alrighty guys, picking this video up roughly 2 weeks later, and let me explain. I said we was gonna be hanging out with my buddy Grant, and just making the vlog a little bit more fun. Well, on the way to meet up with Grant, everything was smooth, just cruising, had the music playing. That slightly started hearing some knocking. So I'm like, okay, I thought it was the throttle bearing because the throttle bearing was making some issues. So I just before we got back on the road after getting gas, I adjusted the firewall adjuster for the clutch cable because the throttle bearing was chattering when I pushed the clutch a certain way, where I think it was just barely a little bit of pressure. So I wanted to fix that, and I'm pretty sure I fixed it, and the throttle bearing chatter was gone. So about 15 minutes down the highway, I started hearing like some kind of chattering again. I thought it was the throttle bearing, so I popped in neutral and revved it a couple of times and it went away. So I popped it back into fifth, started cruising again, and it got louder. So it started sounding more like a rod bearing failure like it did before. And yeah, and I looked at the oil pressure gauge and it's completely down to 0. I'm like, yikes, I gotta get off the highway. So thankfully, as soon as I noticed the oil pressure gauge was down, the exit was right there. I jumped off the exit, coasted down to the nearest parking lot and shut it off. And I told my buddy Grant what's happening, and he came over, and we basically just hung out until my tow truck got there. And when the tow truck got there, I started the car, heard like a slight rattle, kind of like a cold start, not a cold start, like a dry start, and the oil pressure went back up, and it didn't knock at idle, didn't knock when revving it or when pushing up onto the trailer. But that's not what this video is about right now. That's gonna be a whole separate video going over everything, because I don't know if the car is blowing up right now. I don't really have an answer, but like I pulled the dipstick out after I moved it back into the garage. I started up and moved it twice since it started knocking, and there's been no knocking, there's been oil pressure, but I do know that there is some metal shavings on the dipstick, so it shoots something up a little bit. But if it's bad or permanent damage, we don't know until we fully dig into it. But going back to the main topic, I guess, the V6, it needs some love. It's been sitting for a year, so as much as I love Reaper, the V6 is going to get some attention right now. Alrighty guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.